that way too.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Julie, I'm glad you're showing your face. I'm like, I need to see people. Thanks, Stacy. Thanks, Victoria. Well, I'm glad we're all here. I want to know how everybody's feeling. So we're officially into this new norm. How is everybody feeling with that?
I feel pretty good because my agency has been using these practices all along.
Yep.
So there's not going to be a lot of changes. And the biggest change is going to be, you know, on the seller side, in my opinion, because I've always used a buyer agreement with compensation in it. And I've always had that in my routine. So it's just a matter of talking to the sellers because now the sellers are listening to, oh, it's going to cost you less money. Well, I really don't think that that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they want to sell their house, that won't be the case.
Right. Okay. Well, a little bit about me in case you don't know me. For those of you that don't know me, I'm half of the duo behind Moms in Real Estate. And so for the last, I'm a producing agent. That's important to know. Like, that's what I still do. I'm still in the mud, selling houses, one house at a time. And, but for the last 6 years, I've been honored to get to help women to scale their business. And so I coach and mentor moms specifically to scale their business to 6 figures on a part-time effort. So Buns Up Bras Off came from literally how I love to run my business. I usually don't put on a bra most days, and I sell about $15 to $20 million a year in production in my local market. Lately, I've been realizing I need to put on a bra a little bit more often. But anyways, I just like to be comfy. And the whole point of, I say that playfully, but really what the heart is behind that is that business doesn't have to, it can look the way we want it to look. It can be life-giving and it can still be honoring of our families. So really that is the mission behind Moms in Real Estate, is to educate, empower, and encourage.
Somebody please mute.
Let's see, I can probably mute too. But with that said, behind this call, I want it to be whatever you need. I'm never short on topics. In fact, with the current changes, I did the math because I'm a big data girl. And I think that they're going to result in me actually making more money. And that's something that has me excited about the changes. And I would love to talk about that, but only if that's what this call wants. So whatever you ladies want, I want you to get value from this call. So does anybody have something specifically? It can be family, it can be calendar, it can be region, it can be the new NAR changes. It can be, I want to kill my husband, whatever you need on this call. We are here for that. So who has something that they would love to get from this call?
Is this a first call of a series or?
No, it's monthly. So we do it monthly. Some months we get really, sometimes we have 20, 30, 40 moms on. Sometimes we have 5 or 6. It just really kind of depends, but it's always an open call to any woman in real estate, any brokerage.
That's wonderful. No, I would love to learn how to scale my business.
Yeah.
Without breaking the bank.
I know that feeling too. Stacy, were you going to unmute and say something?
Well, I can just say I didn't realize this was going to be like totally interactive, like a true Zoom call. I thought it was just going to be like, hey, these are what we're experiencing. This is what's successful for us. Have fun.
Yeah. No, we do kind of that with our like marketing calls every single month. But this is really where, community for me, like it's so great to have, almost 30,000 women. But just like, think about it, if we had 30,000, like when people are like, oh, I have 30,000 people in my database. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have 30,000 contacts in a CRM. You probably have 200 to 300 people in your database that actually know you, like you, and refer you, right? And it's kind of the same thing like with my agent relationships. Like I want us to have a community, and I don't want you to just feel like Moms in Real Estate is this big space that you can go be a fly on the wall. I want you to be like, oh no, this is where I tap in and this is where I get what I need. So that's what this is, a little bit more intimate opportunity.
That's awesome. I'm open to whatever topic.
Yeah.
Anything to grow.
I love that. Christy, what about you? Were you going to share something?
I'm brand new. I'm scheduling my exam for Tuesday. I'm super, super excited. I have loved real estate for probably since I was a kid. And my kids are finally getting big. My youngest is a freshman in high school and she homeschools and it's very flexible. And all my kids are all leaving the house kind of at the same time. So we thought this would be a good idea. So my my biggest concern is I have ADD, but I know there's tons of people that are super successful. The guy I saw in your picture, oh, what's his name? The massive agent guy.
Oh, Dustin. Yeah,
Love
Dustin.
that guy.
Yeah.
Listen to his podcast. And Sharon, I think he probably said he had ADD as well. So I know it's possible. But I think just with all the changes going on here, but also I have clients literally waiting for me to hurry up and get my license because they need me to sell their home. And
That's
so
good.
I'm concerned about that, that first amount of training and not trying to, because if you have ADD, here's your expectation, here's your ideas, super giant long list, and then here's what's actually possible.
Yeah.
So
Well, first off, congratulations and like way to show up. I will tell you, I will shortcut your success path for you. Get in the right rooms. Get
yeah,
in the right rooms. It will change your career. It'll change your entire
Yeah.
trajectory. And so you're definitely already on the right path. And I also envy you a little bit because you don't have to unlearn all the things.
yes,
You get to come
Right.
into the market exactly like it is.
yes,
And one thing I always say I wish I would have done, and I'm just being super transparent, God kind of had to like, for lack of better words, God literally had to like curb stomp pride out of me. It was just something I struggled with forever. So back 25 years ago when I got into the business, I didn't want to be the rookie. So I like got my broker's license and I associated like success in the wrong way. And I never really was a sponge and just really enjoyed being a brand new agent and learning all the things because I thought it was better to be the know-it-all. And so my
yeah,
advice is like relish that. Like
Yeah.
everywhere that you can show up and say, I'm a brand new agent, give me what you got. Like just be that sponge. That is
Okay.
such a powerful season.
Awesome. I am looking. So right now, my number one brokerage that I'm looking at is Real. Totally love Sharon. I don't know. That guy is like a rock star. Now, I'm not joining just for him. I'm just saying that his explanation of things and his ability to communicate has been very powerful. I just see that so right now that's my number one what I'm looking at. But if you guys have anything to share as far as like I don't know exactly. And now I'm meeting with somebody from this community tomorrow who's in Real. But if you have anything to share as far as finding the right team or people to work with.
Yeah. Well, and just, I'll say this, Chris, you're always welcome to book a call with me. I think one of the biggest things that you have to know, and Kristen and I actually just recorded a video because we want the community to understand this. Like, I firmly believe there's no right or wrong brokerage, right? Brokerage it's also seasonal and it's always depending on what you need as the agent. So I think the most powerful thing is identifying like, what do I need in this season? What are the top 3 things that I need to achieve the success I'm looking for in the next 90 days? In the next 120 days, and really just finding that person that's a few steps ahead of you. And so, yes, with that said, I won't be shy and say that I didn't just join Real. I did just join
I
Real.
know. I was excited for you.
Yeah. And it was also scary. I will be so transparent and vulnerable on this call, guys. I thought I lost my freaking mind. I was so blessed and so fortunate to scale to 150 agents at EXP.
Wow.
And I hit production highs that I had never hit before. And I was like, God, what do you mean we're leaving EXP? Like, I literally prayed and I was like, if you want me to leave EXP, you got to shut the doors. And then they started shutting and I was like, oh, smoke. So all of that to say, yes, I do think that Real is a phenomenal company, but I will tell you about any cloud-based brokerage as a new agent, you have to show up.
Yes.
So nobody's going to walk by a desk and say like, hey, what are you doing? So you have to be willing to show up. But yeah, if you wanted to book a call or you wanted to chat on that, I'm always happy to do that too. But I'm excited for you and your new adventure.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.
Excited for you.
Me too. I am very excited.
So cool.
What else do we have on here, ladies? Okay, so
I'm gonna take
Katran, is
notes.
that how you say it? Katran?
That is fine.
Was that not right though?
Katran, yeah, but nobody calls me it. I don't like my name at all. So I should rename myself right now. Then
right now, do it right. Well, you know what's funny? Mine says Randy Then I always go by Randy. And then I saw a second ago, I think she took it off. She's in California. Her name is Valeria, and I love her. And we met. She came to a conference that I did a year, maybe almost 2 years ago in Florida, 1 year ago. So I did a conference and she comes to the conference and we like meet and she, I got to tell her story. I was like messing up her name, right? I kept calling her Valeria. And she looks at me and she's like, no, it's Valeria like malaria, not Valeria like diarrhea. So
Yeah.
every time I say her name, I'm like, wait, is it malaria or diarrhea?
No, I'm like, Kat, it's so much easier. My family, everybody calls me Kat.
I love it.
So,
Well,
do y'all
welcome.
all know each other, or is it the first time? Oh,
I know one or two ladies on the call, but this is what I love about this call is I get to meet new moms every single month. So real quick, what market is everybody in? You can either drop it in the chat or you can say it, but I would love to know what market everybody's in.
I don't see the chat option.
It should
At
be
the
down
bottom.
at the bottom.
Put your mouse at the bottom and it'll show up.
Yeah, it'll pop up.
What?
Hey, Randy, your sound is way quieter than everybody else's. I'm not sure if you knew that.
Is that
It's
better?
really quiet.
I am with Keller Williams and talking about being scared of switching brokerages. Next week, I'll be switching to All City. I don't know if anybody has heard of it, but I'm here in Austin, Texas. And so it's a smaller brokerage and it's 100% commission.
Okay.
And everybody I know thinks I'm crazy for the reason I'm making my choice, but I've been called crazy my whole life and it's been the best. I've always made the right choices and I trust God. But I know I'm not just 100% going for the money, but my plans, my future is different than everybody else's. So I have a plan. And so, yeah, I'm a single mom of 3 girls.
3
Aw,
girls. Oh, I
go
love
you.
Thank you.
I'm from Indiana, Fishers, Indiana, just northeast of Indianapolis.
that. Oh, okay, nice. Anybody?
Single mom of 2 teenage girls.
Oh, I'll pray for you. Yeah.
Please do. Please do. I have a sophomore and a senior, and yeah, it's a whole lot of estrogen around here at times.
Mhm.
That's why I got out of the salon business. The estrogen
And
is too much.
yeah, and I'm in Denver, if anyone's in the Denver market.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we have
Crazy how many
Denver.
single moms there are. I am too. I've got a junior daughter in high school, and then my son's in 7th grade. Just killing it, trying.
Nice. I love that. Oh my gosh, I miss those ages. I miss those. All of my youngest is 22. So my kids span 22 to 28. And then my grandkids span 3 to 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, mine are for sale, so if you would like them.
Buy one, get one free.
I love that. Okay, so we have Rochester, New York. Nice. Dallas, Fort Worth. Stacey, you're in Arizona. I love that. And then Northern California. Okay, perfect. I love this. And Oregon. Nice. I love Oregon. I love the Northwest. Okay, so anybody have another question, topic, input, anything that they would like? This is your chance to get whatever you need.
I'm curious to know your thoughts on the settlement. You know, you had mentioned that, you know, you think that you're going to be making more money. I also have that train of thought. Because now we can ask for, on the buyer side, higher commissions.
Yep.
Oh,
go ahead.
And make it transparent that, you know, we can ask the buyer, but you're obligated to pay.
So
So
I love that. On a scale
I've
of
also
stomach hurts. Is that
heard
the
that you have to be very careful
until
listening to others, every state's different.
Mhm.
So even if we start to speak, it could easily confuse us if we're speaking, if we're not all from like,
when
Texas
he came in
and
my
stuff
eye,
like
his stomach
that.
hurts. I just saw his stomach heaving. That's how I knew he was about to
Trying to
throw up.
find
He was
out
doing
who's
this.
not muted.
His stomach, he's
Ashley,
doing that.
Ashley,
Okay, I think we got it. Sorry about that, Kat.
oh no.
I think we have it.
Oh shoot! Sorry, y'all.
That's okay. Okay, I'm just trying to keep up. There's like people in the waiting room, so I'm trying to keep up with all the things. Real quick, on like a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you feel so pumped, so ready, like you feel confident, you don't have any concerns, with 1 being like I'm terrified. Everybody in the chat, kind of drop where you are around the changes.
I don't know how to number it, so I feel comfortable.
I
missed the question. What are we doing?
Hi, Randy. We're talking around how we feel with the NAR settlement and changes and the new norm. Okay, so it sounds like we're kind of confident. So here's my thing, and obviously as a broker myself, I understand that, you know, everything is going to be slightly state specific. So how many of you were actually doing buyer consults and buyer brokerage agreements before this? Yeah, me too. Me too. So I think the biggest hurdle is for those agents that were not starting to kind of have that standardized practice. But for those of us that were doing it, you know, I think the conversation is, you know, pretty. I already saw some language coming out from some of my partners that I really loved that kind of was like around, you know, we will never let you miss out on a home because of our commission. So I think that, you know, there's going to be some good ways to position it. And I think that another really powerful conversation is just going to be, hey, listen, I'm willing to, you know, if this requires three attempts instead of one attempt, because we can't get somebody to help us to offset your representation cost, that might be, you know, part of our hurdle, but I'm willing to stay in this with you. So I think there's going to be a lot of ways that we can set clear expectations. Where I'm excited, and obviously we don't talk commissions, but, you know, bananas. So I've always been like the rest of us. We've always been subject to whatever bananas the other agent felt that our side was worth. And I'll make you all hate me right now because, you know, I'd rather you hate me for who I am than love me for who I'm not. I am the listing agent who typically keeps more bananas. And that was just my standard practice, right? And I love that now I get to pick what that is. So I just wrote a contract yesterday, and I got countered today. And they did not counter the bananas. They did not counter the comp. And that was really exciting for me because I did the math. And that means that I'm either going to, if I do the same amount of units, I'm either going to get about a $35,000 raise this year, or I can do 3 to 4 less transactions, whatever I want, right? But where I'm really excited is our ability as professionals to bring more skill and more service to the transaction. So here's what would you guys like to hear what I'm doing to set myself apart when I'm asking for my commissions? So
Yes.
I'm building kind of what I would call an agent resume. It's a 1-page overview of who I am as an agent and why I'm worth that buyer compensation, but more so why choosing me as a buyer agent benefits the seller. Why choosing my clients and myself benefits the seller. And what I've done, if you haven't done this, I would really highly suggest you do this. Operate with some intentionality on your next 3 to 5 deals on the buy side, and then go back afterwards. And whether it's a title officer, or whether it's the listing agent, if possible, depending on what the situation is, the seller themselves, and ask them to review you. And put that as part of your 1-page sheet to present. So basically, I have a 1-page sheet that says, this is who I am, here's the skill, here's why we would like you, to consider our offer, and what it means to have me on the other side. And it doesn't come from me. So for instance, I have a seller who said, if it wasn't for Randy diligently working hand in hand with our agent to overcome a cloud on the title that we were unaware of, we would have never got across the finish line. So it's reviews like this where they're like, wait a minute, there's a skill. This is going to be an entire team getting this across the finish line, right? So what do you guys think about that? I'm really excited about it. I'm so excited about my ability to, and also think about how your buyer is now seeing you. So where we had kind of been diminished to door openers and, the people that just book the appointment, now my buyers are seeing me get to put together something of a higher level caliber and to present. And so I think on all sides, it's really leveling it up. What do you guys think about that? Anybody else doing something?
Can sorry, I wanted to say real quick, I just came across, one of my listings where I had 3 offers, and all 3 of them asked for 2.5 apples. And I was like, okay, but then one of them asked for $10,000 in closing costs, and the other one asked for 6%. So seller sees that, and he's like, I'm sorry, how much? So I was like, okay, let me break it down for you. So I think depending on your buyer pool, first-time home buyers or whatnot, depending on how much help they need, that your buyer commission may get affected no matter how amazing of an agent you are, right? So you have to kind of, I don't know, prepare yourself or figure out how to go how to accept that. If you're working with folks who do need a lot of the help with down payment, closing costs and whatnot. So her commission did get affected a little bit. And she was able to work down the closing costs, but she was trying to give them as much help as possible. So that's, I think, because I do both listings and buyers, and I work with a lot of first-time home buyers who do need closing cost assistance, I see there's a possibility for the commission taking a hit.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Sorry, Julie, 1 second. I do agree that, when this all started, I said, I already felt as though the marginal buyer was going to be pushed out of homeownership. And I felt that this would be one of the things that put gasoline on that. And so I do think that for those of us, myself included, like I've made the conscious decision over the course of my career to remain very first-time homebuyer heavy, not because I couldn't move up in price point, but because that was where my heart was. So I do, to your point, like, yes, I can say that, I'm excited because there's a potential for, me to make a raise or to, do less transactions, but I have no doubt that there's also going to be transactions where I probably, maybe don't even get paid because I'm going to be willing to do that to help a family that wouldn't have home ownership otherwise.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I do think that that's a really, really good point that you bring up. And I think it's one of those things that we should kind of have a mindset and a standard practice and understanding with our brokerage around, like, what are we able to do? Because I'll never forget one time I had a gal and her husband was he was in a hospice. And so she wanted to spend their final times. And long story short, they were already going to come to the closing table with money. And I remember going, absolutely not. Like, I'll remove my commission. Like, I just want this woman to be able to sit bedside with her husband and say her goodbyes. And at the time, I didn't have the authority, of course. I wasn't a broker and I didn't have that ability. So I went to my broker. My broker said, absolutely not. We're not in the business of taking on risk for no cost, which of course I can understand that side as well. But case point being, I didn't have the authority to do it. So to your point, Val, it's so important that we do know, like, if we run into this situation and we're willing to, make a compromise, like what are we able to concede and where are those minimums, right?
I remember sorry, I'm with EXP and they said, we don't care what you take, just be prepared in case, there's an E&O claim, to be prepared to pay, 2,500, have 2,500 lying around, whether out of your bank account or out of the commission. So they say, have at least that, if you're going to ask for anything. So I'm like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, because it'd be a bummer to make nothing and then end up paying your deductible. So good point. Good point. That might just be a baseline. Everybody know your E&O deductible and simply say, like, push come or shove, I'm willing, to go here. Also, and not to go too far into it, but the risk reduction immediately comes in. Is like, you've got to standardize that process somehow, because you can't just say, like, oh, like, you guys are so sweet, I love you guys, you're the cutest little family, I want to do this for you, and then not offer that to other people. So you do have to have a standardized process across it, because you have to be fair to everyone. What were you going to say, Julie?
So my question to you is, on the listing side, when you are asking for your bananas, are you asking for, let's just like, before settlement bananas that you would have otherwise given part of those bananas to the other side? Or are you like with the thoughts that that's going to happen? Or, I mean, I haven't had a listing since I'm working with buyers right now, but I mean, I've had listings, but just since I guess a month ago, right?
I did 2 listings in the last like week or so since the change, and really nothing changed for me, because the way that I always explained it was, here is my fee, and then, here's what we can offer out. And here, and what we offer out is negotiable. And then of course, what I charge is negotiable, but I don't negotiate. And then they kind of always chuckle. It's negotiable. You could try to negotiate it with me. And then when they try, I say respectfully, if I can't negotiate my money, you shouldn't want me to negotiate yours, right? I mean, it's that simple. If I'm going to give you my family's money, then you don't want me to be the person to protect your family's money. And so now the only thing that has changed is where I typically did say I recommend a minimum of this being offered out. because I just kind of said, this is what, I recommend we offer out, but it's your decision. And I let them make the decision before. Now the difference is, I do recommend that you're open to buyer's compensation, right? I think it would behoove you. It's a smart, in any sales strategy, it's smart to incentivize the salesman. So I explain that, but I also say, let's see what they come to the table with, right? And so another thing that I typically do is like the washer, the dryer, the refrigerator. I've always, when my clients are like, oh yeah, I'm keep leaving those. I'm like, no, let's make those negotiable. And then they say, why? And I say, because it gives us another pawn in negotiation. So if they come to us and they want $5,000 in credits and the refrigerator and the washer and dryer, how about 2,500 and the refrigerator and washer dryer, right? So like, let's keep more things that we can barter with. So now the conversation is pretty much the same around, let's see what kind of offer they put together. Let's go through it and let's run by it line by line, and let's, and so, yeah, I think that is a good question, Julie.
Thank you.
Yes, Christy.
Because I'm new, like when you started out, I guess it will depend too on, the broker I associate with, but I'm curious whether a lot of new people start out offering less, I guess, so instead of asking for 3 and here's what I'm offering, I remember Byron was saying it's like an interview and here's what you can offer. But have you ever, or did you start out just asking for the full amount, or did you try to give them a discount because you were new? Like, I'm kind of not decided on that.
I mean, I'm immediately wanting to chomp at the bit and say no, but before I elaborate, does anybody else want to say their opinion or their thought?
My opinion is you ask for your worth and then you negotiate the other side. And you talk to them about, how many bananas, on the listing side, you say, this is, I do what Redita does. This is what I charge. Love me or hate me, but this is what it is. And then also with my buyers, I set an expectation that, in Denver, it was typical that, the listing agent got a few more bananas than buyer's agent, but I've always told my buyers on my agreements, this is what I charge. And because now, especially with, the settlement, we can't even accept anything higher than what's on our agreements. So if, if you go to a builder or something, and they're offering a bonus on top of what your commission states in the agreement, you can't ask for anything over that because your fiduciary duties. So, I've been asking for what I shouldn't say was standard. That's not, I can't legally say what was standard, but, what I've seen a lot of times, I've asked for the higher end, but I think that I am now going to ask for half of my bananas as a buyer's agent instead of taking that little difference.
Yeah, the higher. So
Can you
Christy,
explain what you just said again? Like you're asking for half. What do you mean? Like asking for just
So,
tell me,
somebody
you don't
had
have to tell me exactly. I'm just trying to.
no, that's fine. So if somebody was, if somebody said I charge 10 bananas, right? So, in a lot of scenarios, the listing agent will take 12 bananas and do, I'm not doing my math, right? I know that.
yeah, so what she's saying, Christy, is there's a lot of agents will take a higher side on the listing side and offer out a smaller side. So for instance, they'll offer out 2.5 bananas, but they keep 3.5. And what she's saying is now on her side, she'll be able to, on the buy side, she'll be able to ask for 3 bananas instead of getting lesser.
That's clear. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And I'm just transparent. Like, this is what we're asking for. Now you can always take less bananas, so it doesn't affect your client if that's not what's being offered. But you can't take more.
Right. Christy, is my volume better? Also, is my volume better for
Not really.
No. Everybody else is loud.
What about now? Is that better?
It's getting there. Yeah.
Getting there. It does nothing. How about
just beginning and then it changed? Like,
not better? What in the love? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay, is that better?
Yes.
It is, or is it not?
I don't know.
Not
A
really.
little bit.
Yeah.
what good it is to have like this huge microphone. Hold on. Okay, is that better? No?
Oh,
Mm-mm.
no.
Higher, lower.
Now better?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, right
Yes.
there. I don't touch anything.
it's
Okay.
fitting. Can you turn it up? You
I
can't
mean,
turn it up?
I turn this knob. Does it work?
Yes. That was it.
Talk very close to this thing. Okay, I hope it's better. I guess I could yell. Okay, what was oh, Christy, what you're saying though, what you're asking is, as a newer agent, here's the thing. I personally think that any agent should really do something that they're going to show up for and earn. And I don't think what you've already established has to come, like, you don't have to have a track record of 100 sales to be worth X, but you do have to be committed to going the extra mile, to serving your client, to making sure that you're diligent, to making sure you hit the fiduciary obligations, to making sure that what you don't know, you'll go find, making sure that you'll do all of that. Now, if you're going to show up,
Which I'm fully committed to doing. Like I literally love. I'm so very happy to do over and beyond.
Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell
Okay.
yourself short.
Thank you.
Yep. Yes, Randy.
I was going to say to that same point, my very first transaction was a listing and I reduced my rate and it was the one and only time. And it was not worth it. I mean, I well overworked what I ended up getting paid in the end. And I thought I was doing him a favor and it was brand new. And you don't really realize how much you know going in until you are actually doing it going in. And you're like, oh, I know just as much as this guy who's making the offer. Maybe not just as much, but I will, after that one instance, I would never cut my rate again.
Thank you. That's helpful.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay, well, I'm really trying with this microphone. There was a joke. Is it working now?
Really loud now.
There was a joke.
You're almost muffled.
Oh man. There was a joke on I do a agent success call with all the agents in my group on Wednesdays. And there was the joke that they were going to take up a GoFundMe to get me a new mic. So apparently it's time. Okay, what else do we have? I love that, Christy, and I feel like this is really good. But again, I want you guys to get off this call and be like, I'm not missing another Buns Up, Bras Off. This is my freaking community. So what do we need to do that? What else do you guys? And you also please feel free to share wins. If you have wins, anything, I want to hear them all.
I had a closing today for my first residential listing.
Yay! That said that.
Cat.
Now your microphone's all weird. It's flipping in and out.
Mine?
Yeah.
I've sold done land, and so it was my first a residential listing, and I got it under contract in 5 days.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I've gone on a lot of, April was my second year in real estate, and I've gone on a lot of listing appointments, but I have felt like my heart is more with buyers. So I'm very to the point when it comes to a listing agent. Like right away at the beginning, I set where we're gonna do a price drop within a certain amount of time because I don't want to have that tough conversation later on. And then I tell them, how much we're gonna list it for, and if they want to list it higher, I always tell them, well, you can find somebody who will list it higher, but when the appraiser comes out, they're gonna give you the same price that I'm giving you because the market tells us what your home is valued at. Not you're the boss, but I mean, I'll do what you want. But at the end of the day, if we list it at what you're wanting, we'll need to lower it down within this time frame, and I'll have it all in writing.
Yeah, and chase it down.
Yeah. So
Congratulations.
That's awesome. Yay, Kat, that's great. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Julie, were you going to say something?
No, I mean, I guess you had asked earlier, what is that we're interested in talking about? I mean, lead gen is huge. Like, how are you guys getting your listing appointments and how are you getting the leads? And I've only been practicing I've had my license since 2015, but I did not use it. And I just got into it a year ago. So lead gen has been difficult, and I'm not one to continuously call my friends. However, this buyer I'm working with right now actually came from my sphere of influence, which is crazy because I didn't even ask for it. But I am spending money on marketing like there's no tomorrow, and it's not doing crap. And you have all these companies coming at you that we can get you these leads and this and that. And there's, can I swear on this? Because I'm a big swearer, but they're crap. So that was mild. I promise that I throw the F-bomb. So if I do at some point, you guys, please forgive me.
Totally okay.
Can I
But-
offer,
Yeah,
can I
yeah.
offer some info for you?
Yes,
So
please.
I've been in the business for 3 years this month.
Me too.
July or August. Yep. So my first year was awesome. I was on a team. So he was paying for the leads, which was really nice. My second year, well, let me back up to the first year. The first year was awesome because I did half team leads and half my own, because they saw that I was, you know, working really hard and getting deals done. A lot of my sphere started reaching out because I was posting on social media. And social media, one thing that I hear often regarding me, people tell me, hey, I love how authentic you are on social media. You're not, you know, prim and proper. Like, if you find me on Facebook, you'll see one where my mom was like, Valeria, did you brush your hair before you went online? I'm like, no. I was so excited that I made a turkey for the first time that I forgot to brush my hair. You know, so going out there and being authentic and then just sprinkling real estate. Like, when people used to tell me that, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, just tell me the easy way to get leads. They're like, no, just be yourself, post occasionally about real estate, and people will start talking to you. Now, open houses are good, but you can't just show up the day of and do it. You have to go door knocking. You have to post about it online, and I'm still working on that. So that's something in progress. So those are my two big ones that really helped me to get a lot of business this year. So my second year wasn't very good. I had 4 transactions, and this year I have 1 listing that just went under contract today, 1 going live on Sunday, and I have 4 more coming up in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm so excited, so thankful, because the beginning of this year, I was so nervous. I'm like, oh no, it's slow, it's dead. But, you know, by the grace of God, like, it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah,
So
I
be
did.
yourself.
So yeah, I had a year of nothing, and then I'm about to close my 7th transaction.
Dang.
But then I'm like, okay, now what? You know, now I'm like, and I do open houses, a lot. I don't really get much out of them, but I've taken some open house classes that have helped me with my verbiage, to actually figure out who's buying, who's you know, who's selling and buying, and who's just a looky-loo. So I mean, I've got that verbiage down, which is nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you have something you wanted to share?
My broker gives you scripts and stuff like that. I'm a really bad role player. I'm a really bad script follower, but going off of Valeria, I just try to be genuine. I just had a photo shoot because I'm in June went independent. So I'm starting my 3rd year independent as opposed to being on a team. My team didn't give me any leads or anything along those lines. It was all independent. I just paid a lot of money to my team lead. She was amazing. I learned so much from her. I love her dearly. It was really hard to break off and be independent, but I had to because that money matters to me. But anyway, I told my photographer, like, I don't wear lipstick. I don't curl my hair. I don't wear heels. I'm in flip-flops and jeans 95% of the time, or shorts or something. So I just want to be genuine, and I want to show up as me. Because if I'm all dolled up in pictures and I show up to an appointment, they're like, nope, that's not who I thought I was gonna have show up. But I guess that's a big success, is I've gone independent, and then I realized my self-worth and turned down my first listing appointment for the first time. It was really crazy, but my branch like told me it'd be really liberating and supported me with that and everything. But my biggest thing to try to generate leads right now is I'm doing a CMA a day challenge and going, my goal, I'm not quite 1 every day, but for August it was to do 30. It's gonna carry over into September, I know it, but still I have finally have found an idea, created the idea, and am initiating on the idea. So I'm hoping that in some time that will come with some listings potentially. But then I also have a buyer who really wants a house in this specific neighborhood with a pool. So I've gone onto the MLS and I've written a letter to homeowners with pools to be like, hey, I've got a client. If you'd be interested in potentially selling, let me know. So hopefully that will generate something, but those are kind of things that I'm working on for lead generations.
Well, there was
But-
like so many wins in there. Can we just stop and like celebrate all the wins? Like I love that, Stacey. And I love that one of my favorite quotes that I like had to teach myself. I've said it to myself one day and then I wrote it on the wall and I had to practice it, which is in business, hurtful decisions don't equal harmful decisions. And like realizing that it was your time had passed with that team lead and that you needed to recapture that money. That's one of those hurtful decisions, but it's not harmful.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's super powerful.
Can you text that in the chat, Randy?
Yes.
I'm taking notes on my phone so I don't forget anything.
Yeah, I'll shoot it there in just a second.
Thank you.
A couple things, yes, on the open houses. So I built, my very first transaction I ever did was on opens. I built a lot of my agent's business on opens. But you do have to have a system. You have to have a system around those. I need to evaluate mine, being honest, just to make sure that everything's still compliant now with the changes. One of our biggest successes in open houses was when we changed trying to capture information to immediately showing our value. And so we have a board, a pretty large poster board that goes up on an easel inside of the house that says, this is our, scan here for access to our off-market inventory. And it kind of just shows different stars, and we work hard to have an off-market inventory. And then, when they go to scan it, we just let them know, oh, awesome, that's exclusive for our clients. So we can go ahead and do a consult with you and get you going if you want access to that. And so that was how we shifted who came into the opens from like us trying to get the phone number and then like calling back and being like, so you came to the open and we didn't have a conversation there that was good, but I'm hoping we have one today on Monday, right? So it kind of shifted that to immediately like, oh, well, maybe I do want to work with you, right? You have what I'm looking for. So that was a big takeaway. Another one that really piggybacks on what Stacey said, over the last 15 years, my buyer hunt letters have always been successful. And so we've always, been honest when we have a buyer, but we've also been super intentional once our buyers narrow in to put out a buyer hunt for them. And so that's also how we build our off-market inventory list. And so by off-market, somebody asked in the chat, what that means is non-MLS properties. So through our buyer hunts, we'll get people that are like, yeah, if you brought me the right price, I would sell. They go on our off-market. We have investors who have properties in rehab. They go on our off-market. We have a plethora for sell-by owners. We contact them and ask them if we can list them on our off-market. So we have probably 5 to 10 different sources that feed our off-market list. Okay. And then we also leverage those buyers to keep that list going. But I use a company, and if anybody wants a direct introduction, I'm happy to do it. But I use a company called Celebrity Agent, and they do my mailing and my farming, and they combine it with AI. So I also don't spend a lot of money, because what I've noticed is if you track your closings, not your leads, you'll see that 90% of your money goes to the volume and not to the closings. And so I make sure I put my money where I get my deals from, which is my actual clients. But with that said, I do believe very much in this farming, because it allows me to farm and it does my buyer hunts for me and it does my just listed for me, but it further scrubs it. And so instead of me having to send out 5,000 postcards, I send out 1,000, and they're able to scrub and I hate Big Brother, I hate tech, like I hate all of that, but the bottom line is it's here, so I'm not going to not use it. And so the tech will scrub who's most likely to transact. Has there been debt filings? Have they filed bankruptcy? Has there been a divorce filing? And so they will bubble to the top. So when you pick your farm or you're sending out your just listed, they pick the most likely to transact.
Called Celebrity Agent.
Yeah, if anybody wants a personal introduction,
I do.
Yeah, I will connect you with Michael, my contact over there. He's great. He takes really good care of all of our agents. He's come and done a couple of events for us. And every agent, I have probably 12 of us personal, like 12 personal agents that I know well, that we're all using it. Some of us are in rural markets with as small as a population of 10,000. And some of us are in markets with 500,000 or 600,000. And all of us are closing between 5 to 15 listings a year with them. So,
Wow.
yeah, so it is really good. You pay for the platform and then you have a mailing budget. I'm all in at like $1,200 a month, so it's not bad. And you could be all in at like 500 or 600 if you wanted to do smaller. Yeah. But I just, if somebody wants the thing to, I think it was Stacy, maybe it was Stacy, one of you said this, but The thing is, you have got to commit to something for at least 12 months to see an ROI. The worst thing that you can do in any lead source is commit to it for 30, 60, 90 days and then drop it and then start, because you will just start a vicious cycle. And I was guilty of this in my own business, a vicious cycle of just always disrupting my business because I was implementing something new or I was just half-assing what I was doing, right? So my rule of thumb is go in on all 3 pillars, go 5 layers deep. So pick 3 things that are going to be your sources and then figure out 5 ways to go deep. So like if open houses is one, what are the 5 ways with opens? So maybe it's door knocking, maybe it's mailing, you know, whatever it is, like you're going to pick the 5 ways to go deep and commit to those for a year so that you can actually see the true ROI. Because really, I mean, anything works if you work it well, but you want to pick the stuff that you actually enjoy doing, you know? Okay, how's everybody doing? Help me in the chat. If you're getting value from this call, give me like a thumbs up or a yes or something, because I need that. I need to always know people are getting value. It's like a codependency issue I have or something. Okay, good. All right, what else do we want to talk about? Julie, how do you feel about that? Do you feel better? That's some better lead sources?
I do. It's the financial piece is scary. I mean, I think I put like $5,000 out for lead sources that I just started farming. I'm using a company called Reminder Media.
Yeah.
I love their magazines.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that I'm happy with what they're doing with my Facebook and Instagram. And like I called them yesterday, so they had posted something. They had done a pretzel and decorated it for the 4th of July and said something regarding the 4th. I'm like, do you realize July 4th was last month? I look like an idiot. So I was pissed. I'm like, you know what, this stuff has to be relevant, current. It can't be a post from.
I'll go back to what the other ladies were saying. I mean, even when you guys were talking and you were like, I flip-flops and jeans and I didn't comb my hair, I was just like so in awe of like the power in authenticity. And the reason I share that is because Buns Up, Bras Off didn't come out of nowhere. It came from like, I cannot get a perfect Instagram if I want it. I cannot make it work good. I get put together. Every event I go to, every conference, every function, every retreat I go to, I go and I buy new clothes and I'm like, I'm going to show up better and I'm going to be professional. I think it was you, Christy. You said you saw me with Sharon. So I was going to show up different and I was going to be different. And so I have these dresses and they're so comfortable and they have pockets and I wear dresses, but then I wear them and then I'm talking to Sharon and then all of a sudden we're doing a video and now I'm with the president of RIP and I don't even know, like a tangerine and
I thought you looked awesome.
My point in it is every time that I attempt to be something I'm not, it epically, like it just doesn't work. And the issue with any level of management on social media is that you lose the authenticity. And so it's like, I can sense when somebody got ChatGPT, like it only takes me like 3 lines of reading somebody's caption to be like, ChatGPT wrote this, not you. Or it only takes me like 2 scrolls. And here's my goal, take it if you guys want it, but here's my rule. On social media, if you go to my Instagram, I want you to hate me or love me in 1 scroll. I want you to be able to go like this and be like, this is my girl, or I freaking hate her, I'm not following her. But I do not want lukewarm people. And like I always joke, like she just doesn't want lukewarm people. I don't, right? Like I either want you to love me or just stay away from me. And that's how people feel. And I will share this just to hopefully give you inspiration, Julie. I was terrified initially because I was like, I'm like the main income for my family. Like I moved from real estate being like, oh, if I sell a house, that's great, to my life situation, taking it to like, if I don't sell a house, my family doesn't eat, right? And I was like, I don't want to alienate anybody. I don't want, to make somebody not like me. Like I want to sell anybody a house, right? So I was scared to niche down. The more I became authentic, there's like, everybody's like, don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion. 1 scroll, you'll see it. I talk about it all, right? That's who I am. And the funny thing is that my 80% of my business comes from my mob, which is my advocate. And some of those people are not even like me. Like my number 1 client who sent me 7 closings last year is an atheist. And if you know me, I'm a very strong Bible banker and she's a very strong atheist. And
That's
so
powerful.
I share
That is so powerful.
I share that, that's God's goodness, but I share that with
Yes.
you to say, like, it's better to post once a week on your social and it be 100% authentically from you and people be getting to know you than it is to post 3, 4, 5 times a week and it be, packaged from a company. Like social, the power in social is being social.
Does anybody have
Yeah.
any, while you're there, does anybody have any, I love taking photos with other people. I do not ever do well in front of a camera, ever. And so even this is okay because there's only a few people here and I can handle 100 preschoolers, bring them on. I'll tell them all about the Jesus, but do you have any tips for finding like a photographer that can capture, who I really am? So I don't look like this girl who I'm not.
You have, oh, go ahead, Julie.
I was sad, just posted something on Facebook, any recommendations for a good photographer?
Yeah, also get some friends. So Christy, I'm gonna be vulnerable for a second. So my mom was my original business partner. We're a 3-generation team, mom, daughter, and granddaughter. And like my heart almost fell one day. We were trying to push my mom, we were motivating her. So she went live at an open house. And the amount of fear that I could see, I was watching the live on Facebook. I wasn't at the open with her. The amount of fear that I could see on her face and like the scaredness, all of it, like it just ripped my heart out. And it immediately made me aware of like how big a deal it is for certain people to like be in front of a camera or to put themselves out there. And we do content pop-ups every single month. And my mom has like this killer smile, like just huge, like lights up the room smile. But anytime the photographer takes her, the pictures are horrible. And not horrible, but they don't show her. And so this last month, I was like, can I show you something? And I said, I want to show you something. And I was like, Mom, like, why are you not confident? Like, you're beautiful. And like, I tried to talk to her. I was like, look at these pictures. They don't show you. But the trick is when we are with her, they look completely different. So if you have 1 or 2 people and you can get a good photographer and they can just learn to capture the candid, you're going to get such better photos. Like I will, until the day that I can't anymore, I will do everything I can to try to get my mom to see what an amazing, beautiful woman she is, but it's just not who she is. And it's just not how she shows up. She's from a different, era. And so the only way that I can capture her in photos is to basically harass her. I basically harass her. And then she's like, she's laughing. And then I tell the photographers, like, grab her candid. And those are the marketing photos. And he actually just updated her Facebook profile. Like, and she never does that. She's the person that had like the same one for like 3 years. And she updated it because this was the one that they captured. And I'm literally tickling her behind us. She's in the middle.
Oh, that's a great picture of her.
Like tickling her. So just
So beautiful.
thank you. Just get yourself 1 or 2 besties, like get yourself 1 or 2 other women that
Thank
equally want to
you.
be there. And oh my gosh, like do not do content alone. There's no reason that you have to feel awkward and forced and posed and nope, just do content with people and it's amazing.
Okay. Thank you.
What market are you in?
Indiana.
I don't think
Indianapolis
we're
area.
connecting Cultivate chapter there yet, but once we have a chapter near you, go to one of our content pop-ups. We make
Awesome.
content easy.
I did hear that. I think Kristen or somebody was on some podcast that I was listening to, and she was talking about that. And I was like, that's a great idea.
All of our chapters across the country do them each month, and we just hang out with each other. And instead of awkwardly networking, we awkwardly make content.
Do you have that in Denver?
I don't know if we have it in Denver. I'll check. I can check tomorrow with Kristen.
Please? I mean, definitely something that I'm interested in.
Launch a chapter.
I'm sorry?
If anybody wants to launch a chapter, you can also talk to Kristen about launching a chapter. So we have chapter leaders for every market. So
Be happy to. Yeah, I mean, I'm not creative, but would love to figure. That's why I hire people out to do it for me.
It's a business in a box. And here's the thing, that's part of, as an agent, part of the reason I chose to launch a chapter is it's like having my own BNI. So now I would love all of these agents. I mean, all of these business owners.
Can I put my email address in the chat and have you connect with me tomorrow?
Yes, absolutely. And on that note, we're just about time. And so I will say, these calls will always just be free. Sometimes we'll bring a guest on, sometimes we'll just chit and chat. Like I want any brokerage, this is broker agnostic, but if you're ever on the call and you want more information about going deeper in relationship with myself or with Kristen, we do partner with agents in a couple different capacities. We're rolling out our referral network so that you could be a member of that if you want to get more agent to agent referrals. And that does have exclusivity around market. So it's not open to everyone. That rolls out in about a week. We have our Connect and Cultivate chapters, which Kristen is the founder of and oversees, but those are networking groups in each market. And then we both are at Real. So you can also book a call with either of us if you ever wanted to partner with us at the brokerage. But no matter what, we're always going to keep moms in real estate for all brokerages, all women. And we're super excited you guys are here. All right,
I'm excited about this group. Thank you I'm glad I found it.
Well, I know like Marissa, you've been on with your camera and so have you, Victoria, and I appreciate that so much. Do you guys have anything you want to share before we jump off?
No, I'm just grateful to be here.
I love that. I mean, I seriously, I know it sounds so corny and so lame sometimes, but sometimes I'm like, is this really what I get to do? Like, is this what I get to do? Rise Women is like my thing. It's just my jam. So I just love it. So hopefully you guys will come up and also keep an eye out. If you're not on our email list, make sure you are because we are launching a 6-week series of navigating NAR. And we have some amazing women from across the country that are going to speak. It's going to be a panel style. And so for each week, starting in September, we're going to be doing a different panel with different agents saying like, here's what I'm doing, how my business is packaged. And we're going to be giving really tactical tips that you guys can take and just duplicate in your businesses.
So how often is this webinar?
Buns Off is our monthly meetup, and it is the fourth Thursday of every month at the time zones change, but it's at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard.
Okay.
It's fourth Thursday every month. So it's always the same. And if you ever don't know anything in Moms in Real Estate, always just go to our cover photo that's pinned, our cover photo at the top of the Facebook group, and we always have what's happening there. Yep. All right, ladies, I'm super excited. Thank you guys so much for coming. If anybody wants to connect to me directly, I'm trying to grab the emails and things in the chat, but feel free to just shoot me a message as well too, and I'll follow up. And are you sharing your email or no? Yeah. Yeah, I just expected you guys to know that.
Thanks so much, Randy.
You're so welcome. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so I dropped it in the chat. Yay, okay. I'll make sure you guys are on the email list as well. Thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful night. Have a nice night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Team.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye, Julie. Thank you, guys.
Bye. Yeah, bye-bye.